My status. 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 My status.
Street paralegal, represent my people. Is anyone really satisfied when they get their cup full? My status, elevated like Lucy Weezy when I started getting cabbage. Took the life out of playing no vision apparatus. So I tighten up the nooses, then called up the troops then. We don't hear no plea bargains, we ain't taking no truces. Still stomping and bruising, keep winning, you losing.
My status.
My status, keep racks on deck, swag stay on check. Abolition on my neck.
My status.
My status.
My status. My status. 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 My status. My status. My status. Status. My status.
My status. Give a damn about the next man, what he doing, what he talking about, what he asking. Keep mashing, thrashing, hey boo-boo, I need a bigger nigga basket. Cross off a rack.
My status. My status.
When it's time to do it, gotta do it, then you gotta do it right. Everybody grabs out with the dice of like one day. In the meantime, I'm gonna make this money. Look all around me so futuristic, it'll turn your best wreck artistic. Loose ends, bits and pieces. Take the ego off your chain where it won't slip. For my status.
Status. Status. My 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 status.
Living with the top down, turned up, sipping crown. My status be the baddest nigga that touched down in your town. Rock star, popping bars, riding dirty dodging cop cars. I'm a rebel nigga, mash on the pedal. In my sleep, I'm flashing the metal. My status is ghetto, low key mellow. Never yellow niggas stay high like hello. Had the status, since I was the baddest man. Nigga interrupting classes, sitting on my throne, sipping Patron. Ain't on the smoke, so now I'm in the zone. My status is gone, fly my swag is. My status can't see my status.
My status. My status. Status. My 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 status. Status. My status.
I count this cash, nigga, that's my status.
My status.
My status. Every mic on a mic, nigga, that's my
My
status.
status.
My status. I'm Jordan when I ball, nigga, that's my status.
My status.
My